Hello everybody, welcome along. My name is Benjamin Bloom. This is the Benjamin Bloom Football Channel. Please leave your bias at the door and welcome to another ranking video. Always good for a bit of fun, always good for a bit of a fight in the comments, isn't it? And today we are going to be ranking every championship top scorer. As you all know by now, I am an extremely logical fella, so I'm going to tell you my criteria here. It probably won't negate some of the comments that we always get that don't quite figure out what we're trying to do. But here we go anyway. I am starting from 92, 93. Yes, the advent of the Premier League. If you don't like that, stop watching. I will be looking at the 28 seasons since. That means there are 25 players. Figure that out. A couple of them have done it twice. And we are only looking at league goals. So, before you go through your record books, I've done it already. So don't start crying, oh, he's got more goals than that. I'm not counting playoff goals. It's the league season. The Golden Boot doesn't count playoff goals. I'm not counting League Cup goals. I'm not counting FA Cup goals. Some of these players scored for their international team during the season. And by God, we're going back to 92, 93. Anyone remember the Anglo-Italian Cup? I'm not counting that either, just league goals. I've come up with 3 different rankings for these 25 different players who have been top scorers over the last 28 seasons. And then I've had the final say myself. First, you will see the goals ranking. Obviously, the player who scored the most goals at the top, the player who scored the least goals at the bottom. Number 2 is the difficulty ranking. I have rewarded players whose teams finished lowest down. Now, that does not mean to say that if a team finished top of the league, it wasn't a great achievement for that player to become the Golden Boot winner. I have also come up with an importance ranking. My logic says that the higher percentage of a team's goal one player scores, the more important that player was. This is not a ranking of the player's ability. It's not ranking the player's career. Number 3, it's not all about your club. Number 4, it's not worth getting cross about. It's really, really not. It's supposed to be a bit of fun. Here we go. I'm ranking from worst to best. Every single top scorer, Golden Boot winner in the second tier, the Championship, the First Division, whatever you want to call it, since 1992-93. Let's go. Number 25, Marlon King, Watford, 2005-2006. Someone's got to be last, haven't they? And we've gone for Marlon King here. He's not the lowest scorer, but we've lit him up there in red because he is 26th out of 28 in that regard, with only the 21 goals scored. In terms of the difficulty ranking, he's down in 16th, Watford finishing up in 3rd, and his goals only accounted for 27.2% of Watford's goals in that season. He does go on and score another goal in the playoffs, and Watford do get promoted. But we've got Marlon King in 25th. Number 24, Andy Hunt, Charlton, 1999-2000. This is a season very close to my heart because my team, Ipswich, got promoted. The league winners that season were Charlton. They came down from the Premier League and in very efficient fashion, they bounced back, winning the division. So they're lit up in red. The difficulty ranking, he's 21st because his team won the division. He did get a decent total, 24. That makes him 19th in the list on goals. His goals ranked 21st in terms of importance, 30.4%. A few hat-tricks in there. I think back-to-back hat-tricks as well, bumping up that total. In 24th, Andy Hunt, Charlton. 23rd, Andre Gray of Brentford and Burnley in the 2015-2016 season. Again, Burnley, like Charlton in the Andy Hunt reading, were a newly relegated club who bounced back very, very efficiently. And part of that was taking Andre Gray, who started the season at Brentford and indeed did get a couple of goals for them, in August, popping him in their team. And Andre Gray becomes one of a couple of players to do this whilst playing for 2 different clubs in that season. His goal rank is only 16th with 25 goals his total. His difficulty rank, again, 21st. You're going to see that a lot because there's quite a few players winning the Golden Boot for the champions. A bit better on the importance rank with 13th, 34.7% of Burnley's goals that season scored by Andre Gray. Number 22, Svetoslav Todorov of Portsmouth, who was the top scorer in the Championship, or Division 1 as it was then, in 2002, 2003. A couple of reds in there that go against Todorov. Again, Pompey finished as the champions that season. So, the difficulty ranking is down in 21st, and they scored a ton of goals, and he only accounted for 26.8% of those. His goal ranking is decent. There, 26 he scored, so he's in 14th there. A great season by Todorov, although maybe he would have been a bit higher if he didn't have the help of Stone and Taylor, Prosinecki and Merson also in that team, making it a little bit easier for Mr. Todorov. Number 21, Nathan Ellington, Wigan, 2004-2005. Nathan Ellington's 24 goals that season sees Wigan get promoted in second place. That means his goals rank is 19th. His difficulty ranking is 18th. His importance ranking is 21st, accounting for 30.4% of Wigan's goals that season in a really good front two with strike partner Jason Roberts. That puts Ellington at 21. Number 20, Danny Graham, Watford, 2010-2011. Danny Graham scored 24 goals this season, which only puts him 19th in the goal ranking. However, look at the difficulty ranking. Our first gold standard there, second place, because Watford weren't a very good team that season. They finished 14th in the Championship. So good effort by Graham there. However, on the importance ranking, only down in 19th. You'd think it would be higher, being Watford finished 14th that season. He scored 31.2% of Watford's goals that season. And that's why we've got him down in 20th, despite the high difficulty ranking. Number 19, Mate Vidra, Derby County, 2017-2018. Now, he didn't score that many goals, 21, which is 26th rank on the actual goals scored. So why have I got him higher? Well, 2 reasons. One is because his difficulty ranking there is 10th, with Derby only finishing in 6th place. But the other reason is this is the season where everybody went to one up top and wide players. Vidra was playing as a number 10 for most of this, under Gary Rowett as well. So maybe that difficulty ranking is a bit unfair, only judging it on his side's league finish there. I think he did a great job to get to 21 in that season and be the top scorer. In terms of his importance rank, low, 23rd with only 30% of his team's goals. And that's why we have Vidra where he is in 19th. Number 18, Peter Whittingham and Nicky Maynard. Now, the first thing we need to say is we had the sad news this year of Peter Whittingham's death at a criminally young age. So we remember Peter Whittingham with fondness, but with sadness at his passing. With all of that being said, Whittingham and Maynard tied for the top scorer, the Golden Boot, in 2009-2010, with the lowest total of all time. Well, in our list anyway, with just the 20 goals, the tie there. Why have I got them so high? Well, because Peter Whittingham is the only midfielder in our list. Cultured left-footed player. Lots of free kicks and long ranges, no doubt, within that total that Cardiff fans will remember. To get the difficulty rank and the importance rank, what I did was I made an average there across the 2 players. They came out at 4th place, with that putting them in 14th, as in a 4th place finish in the league, and 20th in the average of these 2 players was 31% of their team's goals. Credit to Nicky Maynard there, quite the season for him there. And as ever, we remember Peter Whittingham very fondly, who died earlier this year. Number 17, Sean Goater, Manchester City, 2001-2002. I love Sean Goater. Feed the goat and he will score. Classic lower league player, made good when he eventually got himself to Manchester City and then scored goals in the Premier League too. The reason the GOAT is not higher is because he played in such a great team. Under Kevin Keegan in 2001-2002, he scored 28 goals, which does put him very high at 6th on our actual list in terms of goals. However, that team won the league at a canter, scoring 108 goals. So despite getting 28, he was only responsible for 25.9% of his team's goals, which drops him to 27th. He had Ali Benarbia, Ail Berkovic, Darren Huckabee all playing with him. It was a really, really great Manchester City team that season. I love Goater, but he can't go any higher because I don't think he found it that hard to score that 28 goals that season. Number 16, Louis Saha, Fulham. And it's a similar story to Sean Goater with Louis Saha. A brilliant player, a foreign import who's going to take the championship really by storm, scoring 27 goals. However, the team he played in under Jean Tigana also took the championship by storm. And an absolute ton of goals and a ton of points scored by Fulham that season. Saha himself got 27 goals, which puts him at 8th place on my list. The difficulty rank is low because they won the league by miles. And the importance rank, as I say, they scored a ton of goals. Brilliant partnership with Luis Boamorte, Sean Davis in that team as well. I think maybe Chris Coleman might have been in there. Steve Finnan, I'm pulling names out of thin air. They were a great team. Saha was a great player, but he's no higher on my list here. Number 15, Ricky Lambert of Southampton in 2011-2012. No golds, no reds on my list. Ricky Lambert and Southampton storm the league, back-to-back promotions as they go up in 11-12 there. I think with West Ham and Reading, I can't quite remember. On the goals rank, he hit 27, which was fantastic. That puts him in 8th. Difficulty rank, only 18th because they did finish in 2nd, Southampton. 16th on the importance rank with 31.8% of his team's goals. Again, this is ranking the Golden Boot winner. We do need to mention, though, Lambert went on to play for England, signed for Liverpool, and his career went from strength to strength after this Golden Boot. Number 14, Andrew Johnson, Crystal Palace, 2003-2004. A great season for AJ. Another 27 goaler here, which puts him 8th. And in those difficulty rankings, he's 10th, with Palace finishing in 6th. I believe this was the season where they came from nowhere, I think, under Ian Darrow. I could be wrong about that. I get my championship seasons mixed up sometimes. Responsible for 37.5% of his team's goals. Pacey striker. He did have a penchant, though, for winning penalties and scoring penalties. That said, that should not diminish the achievement of 27 goals and a Golden Boot for Andrew Johnson. Number 13, Daryl Murphy, Ipswich Town, 2014-15. Obviously one close to my heart and exactly the same stats as Andrew Johnson, just one place below him. I could have tied them, but I've just got Murphy a little bit ahead. I saw this season and he did a lot of this on his own. Balls into the channels under Mick McCarthy. Made a lot of these goals by himself. Brilliant total, 27, same as Andrew Johnson there. And 6th place finish, 10th in the difficulty rankings, and responsible for 37.5% of his team's goals. I've just gone for Murphy Pippin Johnson. Like I said, he created a lot of those goals himself. And a few fewer penalties, let's just say. Puts Murphy in 13th. My bias, I promise, has been left at the door. Number 12, Alexandra Mitrovic. We don't have to go back too far. Fulham, 2019-20. Mitrovic, the last Golden Boot winner in the Championship. He doesn't have any gold there, He's 14th in the goals rank with 26th. The difficulty ranking, well, quite low as well, 15th, with his team finishing in 4th. He was, however, important to his team. Look, 8th with 40.6% of the goals. And having studied this season, I've bumped Mitrovic up a little bit above those 27 goal scorers that he's above, because I watched this season and he was absolutely vital in Fulham getting promoted, often bailing them out of difficult situations with individual brilliance. Mitrovic, too good for the Championship, and that's why I've just bumped him up the list a little bit higher. Number 11, Teemu Pukki for Norwich in 2018-19. A brilliant season for Pukki and one of the best finishers I think we've seen in the Championship. Cool as a cucumber, always sliding the ball into the corner of the net, and he did that. Well, not that exact finish, but he hit the net 29 times, nearly hitting the magic 30, which puts him 4th in terms of the goals rank. Why don't I have him higher? Well, because he played for a really, really good team that created him loads and loads of chances. Again, that doesn't negate from a brilliant season, but he's 21st on the difficulty rankings. And I was surprised to see this. He was 18th on the importance rankings, but Norwich did score a hell of a lot of goals that season, and Pukki only responsible for 31.2% of them. Brilliant season from Pukki, brilliant season from Norwich. That's why he's up in 11th. Into the top 10 we go, and at number 10, Jamie Cureton of Colchester United. And you have to leave me a bit of poetic license here, because I've bumped Cureton up simply because Colchester, wow, what an achievement. Getting up into the Championship, finishing up there in 10th position for a club of that size. Cureton and Uolumu up top. Cureton top scorer in the division with 23 goals. I just think it was a hell of an achievement. Bit of a journeyman striker, Jamie Cureton in the end. Scored a ton of goals in his career. Some people think he probably could have played higher if he'd got all of his ducks in a row. Yes, on the goals rank, he's only 24th with 23 goals. On the difficulty rank, he is 6th, which is decent. But remember, this is Colchester finishing in 10th place. In the importance rank, again, like I said, brilliant partnership with Uolumo, so only 15th down there. But I had to bump it up for narrative effect there. Just a brilliant achievement for Cureton and for a Colchester player to be the top scorer in the second tier of English football. Number 9, Chris Wood, Leeds United 2016-2017. Under Gary Monk, we've got another 27 goal scorer. We've had a few of those already, which puts Chris Wood in 8th in terms of goals ranking. What a season he had. I think he was over 30 in all competitions as well, as have been a couple of players that have gone past already on this list. Difficulty rank, 8th as well. 7th position Leeds, finished in just dropping out of those playoffs. Look at the importance rank though. 4th place, 44.3% of Leeds goals scored by Chris Wood. He was absolutely vital, a brilliant season, and you'll see with the players remaining in this list why he couldn't quite crack any higher in the rankings. Number 8, John McGinley, Bolton Wanderers. And now you see why we couldn't get Chris Wood any higher, because we got our first 2-time winner here. McGinley cracks the top 10, and he did it twice. In 93-94 for Bolton and 96-97. He scored 25 goals in the 93-94 season, 24 in the 96-97 season. They were very, very differing seasons though, because if you look, Bolton actually finished in 14th position when he top scored in 94, which is second and a gold star there. However, they absolutely run riot in the league in 96-97, and he gets a couple of red marks because they finished first, and it was 100 goals they scored, so only 24% of Bolton's goals that season. So a varied 2 seasons there where McGinley was top scorer, but to do it twice is outstanding, and to do it from 14th place means McGinley surely warrants his place high in the top 10 of these rankings. Number 7, Sylvan Ebanks Blake. another two-timer here, and our only player who half and halves the season with Plymouth and Wolves. So to explain, Ebanks-Blake won the Golden Boot twice in consecutive years, 2007-8, 2008-9. In 2007-8, he played half the season for Plymouth and half the season for Wolves and still banged in 23 goals. The next season, Wolves are then promoted in first position, hence the red mark, and he hits 25 goals. A brilliant 2 years from Ebanks-Blake for Plymouth and Wolves under Mick McCarthy there. Yes, the importance rankings are lower than some other players we've had already, but I think back-to-back seasons and the fact he's the only half and half player. Yes, Andre Gray did play for Brentford and Burnley, but this is pure half and half as Ebanks-Blake goes from Plymouth to Wolves in January of 2008. Brilliant stuff. Back-to-back winner, Sylvain Ebanks-Blake. Number 6, Kevin Phillips and Pierre van Hooijdonk, 97-98. This is a tie on 29 goals, so they've matched Pookie's total there, but still not managed to get to number 30. I've got them high just because of the sheer quality of this season, where Sunderland were not promoted despite scoring 90 points and reaching the playoff final, as discussed with Kevin Phillips on his recent interview on the channel. These were two elite strikers playing down in the Championship, both hitting 29 goals that season, both with great partners in Kevin Campbell and Niall Quinn. The average position for the two, with Forest first and Sunderland third, was second. They were responsible for only 34.5% of their team's goals, but they both played for excellent teams and they both had really high output striking partners as well. Two superb players tying for the 97-98 Golden Boot, Kevin Phillips and Pierre van Hooijdonk in 6th position. We are into the top 5, and at number 5, Glenn Murray, and we have our first magic 30-goal Championship striker. Glenn Murray did it with Palace, with Ian Holloway in 2012, 2013. They're going to go up through the playoffs without Glenn Murray in the end, finishing there in 5th position. But Murray hits the magic 30, which puts him 3rd on our all-time list in terms of goals in the season. The difficulty rank is low. The importance rank is high in 6th with 41.1%. Strangely, Murray didn't actually get that many as the season wound down and Palace went on a bit of a bad run. Could have been an even higher total. But we have to salute in the top 5 a 30-goal Championship season from Glenn Murray. Number 4, John Aldridge, Tranmere, 94-95, 95-96. It's another 2-time winner. And to say this guy's a legend, to say this guy was an elite striker is underestimating it. A goal machine at the top level with Liverpool in the 80s. And he's going to wind down his career with Tranmere over in Merseyside. He's going to end up being the manager in the end. And the goals just never, ever stopped coming. What a striker John Aldridge was. He scores 24 in 94-95 and 27 in 95-96. So like Sylvain Ebanks-Blake, back-to-back, and like John McGinley, a 2-time winner as well. Only 19th and 8th in the goals rank. The difficulty, however, look, Tranmere there in his 2nd season as Golden Boot winner, only finished down in 13th, which puts him just outside of the gold standard in 4th place on the difficulty rankings. He scored 36.4% of his team's goals and 42.2% of his team goals in the 2 seasons. But what a player. And to come down at the end of his career and just be that talisman to get Tranmere. This is Tranmere we're talking about. Similar story to Colchester. Up and challenging in the 2nd tier. A brilliant achievement by a brilliant, brilliant player. Back-to-back winner, John Aldridge in 4th. And we are into our top 3. It's gone gold here for number 3, Lee Hughes of the Golden Hare as well, who scored a stunning 31 goals in West Brom's 98-99 season. And the gold standard, that puts him 2nd in the all-time list for goals in a season. He's third in the importance ranking with a staggering 44.9% of his team's goals. In the difficulty ranking, he's good as well. West Brom only finished 12th that season. I remember Hughes was pretty much close to 30 by Christmas as well. And like Glenn Murray, who we've spoken about before, bit of a slowdown towards the end of the season. And maybe you can blame his team or a bit of tiredness there. Only a 12th place team. Could have been an even higher total for Lee Hughes. I think there's 3 or 4 hat-tricks in that first half of the season as well. So a lot of bunching. But a brilliant achievement by Lee Hughes. 31 goals for West Brom in 98-99 puts him third in our list. In second place, Ross McCormack of Leeds, who in the 2013-14 season scored 28 goals. Yes, people like Hughes, Phillips, Van Hooydonk, Pookie scored more than McCormack, but he's number 1 in the difficulty rankings. His team finished in 15th place. All of those other players either won the league or were definitely in the top 3 or 4, weren't they, with their 29 or 30 goals. In the importance rankings, massive 47.5%, second in that list. And I just think for McCormack, the 28 goals, of all the strikers in this list, I think the most varied type of player and goals. He scored free kicks, he scored long ranges, he had a bit of swagger, a bit of flair, as well as being prolific. We'll all look back at that 4-goal salvo he scored away at Charlton, which just means he pips a couple of players who scored more, a couple of back-to-back winners, just on the individual achievement of hitting that total for that team in that season. Means I've gone for Ross McCormack in second place. And at number 1, I'm sure you've all guessed it, Guy Whittingham, 92-93 Portsmouth, with 42 goals in a 46-game championship season. Just sensational. 47 in all competitions that season. And this makes my life quite easy, because surely no one can dispute when Lee Hughes is second on 31 goals and first place is 11 goals more for Guy Whittingham. Incredible, incredible stuff. Top of the goals ranking with 42. Top of the importance ranking. That was 52.5% of Pompey's goals that season. He's not too high on the difficulty rankings because Portsmouth did indeed finish third that season. However, they didn't go up incredibly. They lost in the playoffs to Leicester and set all sorts of records for the biggest distance between third and sixth and not going up. And I think Leicester are one of the lowest scoring points totals to actually knock out a playoff team there. But we cannot detract from the achievement of 42 goals in a single championship season. They called him Corporal Punishment after his army history. And my God, did he punish championship defences. Our number 1 best ranked, best ever Golden Boot winner is Guy Whittingham for Portsmouth in the 92-93 season. And there you have it, guys. There is the list ranking every championship striker from worst to best. Please get your comments in on this video, and why not share some happy memories of a no doubt great season if you watched any of these players play during their Golden Boot seasons. If you're new to the channel, please hit subscribe. In the main, we are covering the championship here, hence this video and all of the work I've done looking at the championship here. But we do also have our Dearly Departed series looking at the clubs that have left the championship and are now in the Premier League. That's Villa, Sheffield United, Leeds, West Brom and Fulham. So well worth hitting that subscribe button. You can also support in live streams via Super Chat. I've got Patreon going, and in the Teespring store, you can buy some Benjamin Bloom merchandise. Anyway, it's not all about me. It's about these great players that we admire and respect. So why not share your memories of all of these guys, the top scorers ranked for every championship season since 92-93. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. Over and out.